Good morning. So we are going to do some lovely work for just reorienting the hips today. This is, of course, as much for my own benefit as yours. I don't know if you've seen a recent Instagram post I did around I injured my calf a little bit and starting to be able to integrate my movement, but my glutes are really slow to catch on. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this too. We're going to start with an adductor squeeze. And I quite like to have a book or something between my knees just to really feel that squeeze coming on. So starting off with your feet on the wall and coming just off the back of my mat a little bit, otherwise I don't have space. Actually, let's lose the socks. It's definitely that time of year for nice warm socks, right? Here you go, out the screen, nothing happened. Okay, so anchoring onto the wall with my heels. I'm letting that come and bring my connection into my hamstrings, and even this is actually quite tough. Just to really keep feeling this, trying to relax my legs. I'm just going to put a little something under my bottom knee because it doesn't easily rotate out, which makes more sense to me than to you. So if you find that you're trying to get your knee to the ground and your feet flat, and that's quite difficult, then pop something underneath the bottom knee so that that side doesn't have to work quite so hard to keep both things going on, because really it's the top leg we're working here. So nice contact with your heels into the wall. I'm going to pop this book in between and sliding that leg back, keeping my contact on the wall. Now this, I can really start to feel that hamstring and really getting my squeeze onto here. Great. Okay. Now I've got a little bit more. I'm just going to hold this for a minute and just try and keep all my other points, because there's a lot to think about. So to keep moving amongst learning something new is just hard. It's just too much for your brain to do something with at one time. So just go really slowly. Nice. Okay, now I can really start to feel that I'm getting that, and now I'm paying attention that I've got my foot on the wall. My heel is activated into the wall to get my upper hamstring, which is definitely working. I'm trying to relax the rest of my foot. I'm bringing this down. I've lost a little bit of my squeeze, so I'm really squeezing. I'm really feeling that work. And we're doing 8 of these. And I don't know if you saw me there. My hip had come up a little bit, and I just pushed my hip back away from my rib cage and then got the squeeze. And having done a few now, my pelvis is much happier to take that new position because it's activated through this muscle on the bottom, and we're really able to start to direct the pelvis into a better position now that we've got more on board to work with. This is 7, so we'll do one more after this. So I'm pressing down now a little bit with this top hand, which is helping me to get the breath into my back. Good. Great job. I'll just put this back over here. Okay, I'm going to grab my weight. And this is an exercise that I designed myself. I'm just going to put the cushion between my knees, okay? If you've got a yoga block, you can use your yoga block. So my cushion between my knees, and I'm going to feel as if I'm pulling my heels to my bottom just to get this traction of for the hamstrings coming on here, okay? Not quite feeling mine. I'm just going to push the balls of my feet into the wall and see if I do better. Yeah. Okay, that's better for me. So you can play with that as well if you want. If you're not quite feeling this muscle under here kicking on, you can still do the traction of your heels to your bum, but get the balls of your feet into the wall as well. Okay, and then I'm squeezing on the cushion with my knees, keeping everything else going on with the lower body there. And then I'm kind of holding this in a way where I can squeeze onto it. Really letting those low ribs drop. Now I'm going to reach out of my shoulder blades. Feel as if my sternum is kind of tilted up and coming backwards as I hold this down. Reaching from the back of my shoulder blades. Okay, now I'm going to make increasingly my breath soft and quiet and long. That's 6 breaths, 2 more. Lovely. Now I'm going to turn this in to an over the top move. So I'm still got my hamstrings on, my heels tractioning towards my bum, and the balls of my feet pushing into the wall. I've still got the squeeze on the cushion. Okay. My hands are facing my face as I hold this dumbbell. And I'm going to bend my elbows. Keep everything else, my back staying to the ground, coming back and over and straighten. Okay, I'm going to do 10, so that's 2. And once you've got that feeling in your body of all those different things working, trust it. Just let that happen. You can check in with your awareness every now and then really let the strength part work for you. So if you like this element here, you can move from a lighter weight once you've got the movement to a slightly heavier weight to really get that extra core challenge and arm workout. Checking in with where your breath is. Last one. Fantastic. I really like that movement. Just feels so nice on your body. It feels so nice to get that anchoring through here and the movement through your shoulders. It's a really healthy way to bring quite a lot together at one time without overstressing the joints. Brilliant. Okay, and then we're just going to do some fairly simple leg rotations, okay? So I've popped the cushion underneath my knee there so that I can squeeze my feet together, okay? And I'm going to lift this top leg. So we're just doing some external rotation pretty much from the ground, from neutral position of this top leg, okay? You can use a band here around your legs if you want to. Okay, brilliant. And now I'm going to lift my feet up. So here we're starting from a position of hip internal rotation, okay, because my knees are above my feet are above my knees here. So this top leg is going to do some internal rotation, some external rotation from an internal rotated position. So coming up. So this is your elevated clam, but effectively that's the movement that we're achieving, okay? And again, you can make this more challenging by putting a band on. Okay, we're going to do 8, and then we're going to just make a little change. Squeezing the feet together. Thinking about what my breathing's doing. Again, I can press into the floor to try and focus the breath into my back between my shoulder blades, slow sipping breaths. And I really love to think of this as the back of the heart space and really moving the breath into that back and nourish that whole area. Okay, now we're going to do a bit of an eccentric. So I'm coming up and I'm going to come down to a count of 5. And as I'm moving, as I'm coming down, I'm breathing in, I'm imagining that the space between my sit bones is opening, relaxing, lengthening, and the same as I breathe into my back between my shoulder blades. And that eccentric phase of movement gives me plenty of time to make that long sipping breath. One more. Okay. There it is. I'm sorry, I just positioned my knee back down wrong. Brilliant. Okay. What we do to one, we're going to do to the other. So we're going to do this on the other side. I'm going to get right now my right hip moving a little bit more. 8. Lifting both feet up. And I'm aware of just trying to lift my lower ribs here off the ground a little bit and really connecting across with this lower left oblique towards my pelvis. Okay, eccentrics, so breathing in, coming down to the count of 5. Last one. Great. Okay. And we're going to do a bridge against the wall. So I want you to put your, going to have a reference. So grab a little towel or a little cushion there. Bringing this in. Okay. This is probably a little bit more than I need for here. I'm actually just going to grab that book under my butt because I'm also just coming, my bum's just off the rug as well as being off the cushion. So it's just a little bit too much differential. Okay. So here I'm just going to use the cushion to reference my back coming down a little bit as I tilt my pelvis up through the traction of my heels on the wall and the balls of my feet into the wall. Breathing in, coming back. Breathing out, tractioning down. So the action isn't coming from here. The action is coming from my feet on the wall, and it's working all the way up that chain to angle my pelvis. And as I breathe in, I'm letting go much more. I'm letting my feet lengthen on the wall. And as I'm breathing out, I'm tractioning down on the wall, putting a little bit of pressure under the big toe and the baby toe pad side, not the actual toes, the ball of the foot at that level. And feeling that pressure of my spine going into the cushion as I do that. And that just giving me that extra bit of info and feedback, knowing where I am and directing me a little bit more. Going through my hips. If you find yourself gripping with your toes, just try and let them relax. If you find yourself squeezing with your glutes to get this action, just try and switch them off, come back to the start. Really let that connection happen between your heels and your hamstring, and then pushing through the balls of your feet, getting that spread on the front of the foot, and connecting back up that little bit more as you do that. Really trying to sense that in your body. Notice if that makes you grip anywhere else. Notice how much you want to drive it from your hips or your pelvis, how much you want to butt grip. Okay, one more. Okay, we're going to stay slightly up here at that one. Lift one foot off the wall, and then you're going to lift your heel up and down, just trying to keep that fairly relaxed but absolute contact with the two sides of the ball of the foot. Again, not gripping with your toe. Letting your lower ribs stay down, feeling that sustained contact and that slightly under pelvis. Great, and now you're going to keep that up and you're going to really, I call this crush a grate. So pressing with the pad of the big toe or under the big toe on the ball of the foot and taking the knee out. And I really end up trying, like kind of losing my tilt here. I lose the connection with my pelvis and my hip as I do this. And I'm probably cheating a bit in my toes. Right, one more. Okay, we're going to go to the other foot. This one's coming up. I'm just going to traction down a little bit, make sure I've got this connection to the hamstring. I'm drawing my lower ribs back. I'm keeping this long. And I'm trying to keep that nice or relaxed sense in the front of my toes, but as I lift through my heel, I'm trying to keep that contact a little bit with the pad, the ball of the foot, the big toe and the baby side of the ball of the foot. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of arm movement in here. Just a few angel wings. Just kind of get that sense of relaxing in your upper body. It can be so easy to start gripping with your neck and your jaw and your shoulders. And just getting a little bit of movement in just can help to remind you that they can just relax. Okay, I'm holding this position up, crushing a grate, bringing my knee out. Great. Feels really, really well worked now through that back of my leg and trying to keep that connection and relaxing my toes and making only one part move. Shows how much we cheat quite often. And lovely to get that bit of movement through. Okay. So I'm going to grab my bolster. If you have a few cushions or something that you can raise yourself up on a bit, that would be great. So we're just going to go up a little bit. And actually, I might take myself up a little bit more. Right, you're going to keep your hips above your knees. Get those low ribs down, elbows to the ground. Okay. And we've done this before. We've done this quite often now, really. And you can do this right next to the wall and get the balls of your feet on so that you get that hamstring connection again. Or you could just do there what I just did and kind of pretend to do it and get the activation. And then just focus on your breath. So if your arms are too far away, it makes it harder to get that breath in. So you might want to bring your elbows back a little bit more, but not so that it's pressuring through the joints as you lean, okay? And you're trying to get your breath in here. So slow sipping. It's too much difference for me. I'm going to come a bit lower again. Lovely. And then just move forward so that your knees are off your bolster or your cushions. Just have them under your ankles. You're going to come down into child's pose and just really let that upper back stretch out and open. I like to have my arms forward for child's pose. Maybe a little bit wider. I'm putting my cushion underneath because otherwise I feel like my ribs do that as I come down into the child's pose and my lower ribs rest on my legs, which I don't really want to happen because that's kind of doing the opposite movement than I want for my ribs. And we will do a little bit of rib mobilization in those different directions just now, but I'm going to anchor my lower ribs using the cushion so that I get that breath into the back again. Oh, that's so much more of a stretch on my back. Try it. If you haven't, try that out. It's so nice to get that sense of movement in the middle of the low back where we just often don't get it. And if you're a child's pose person with your arms down your side, that's totally fine. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do with this movement is coming down with our hands, but what I want you to do is we're going to have one palm down and one palm up, and then we're going to swap one palm up, one palm down. And as we do that, I want you to feel the change through this part of your back here, where you get one side that's more open and the other side flattens down as you change your hand position. So just playing with that. So one palm up, one palm down. I'm going to use my cushion again because I really like that sensation of being able to get that opening in my middle back. That is so lovely. I've done about 5 breaths. If you're in that movement and you want to do another couple, that's completely fine. You carry on. Okay, we're going to do an extra little challenge. We're going to do some side plank clams, and then we're going to come back and do the drunk bear to get that openness of the back again, and then we're going to do some dead bugs. So we're swapping in and out of strength, mobility, strength, mobility, strength, mobility. Okay, so side plank clams. So you are going to end up, when you're up, with your knees and your elbow in line. Okay, so have your feet nicely stacked, your pelvis stacked, so you're not kind of already twisted before you lift. Okay, be nice and strong through your shoulders, lifting your ribs. Breathe out, let those ribs come down, integrate into your pelvis, and just get a sense of kind of activating a little bit as if you're pushing your heels on something, so you get that hamstring that you can control your pelvic movement through. Okay, so as we come up into the side plank here, it's come up so that you're now flat plane and you come into the clam. Okay, we're going to do 10. Still strong through here. Breathing out as you come up, breathing in as you come down, if you were wondering. I think that's 10. I'm so dreadful at counting in these classes. Getting a bit better. The old habits die hard. I just get so in it in my head that I completely forget to count. Okay, so I'm going to end up wanting my elbows and my knee in line. I want to be strong in my shoulders to start. And now that I'm on my left side, my left ribs just want to go that way, right? So I have to work extra hard to get these left ribs to really connect into my pelvis. I'm really going to use that connection with my heels and my hamstrings so that I know that I've got control of my pelvis when I want it. And a strong drive up and then forward and then up. Breathing in to come down. Last 2. Great, good job. so we're going to do the drunk bear. So this is where we have a block under our left knee. Okay, the right knee, I'm going to come at an angle to you so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. So the right knee is at the same level with my block. Getting those low ribs in, especially the left. Left elbow down, right arm reaches out. And the effect of that right arm is that it's kind of pulling you back to this left side. And remember when we were doing the palms down and up, you might have noticed that the palm up side had got a little bit more space in the back. So we're really trying to get the space into our left low back, our left rib cage. I got so much weight on my left, I can pretty much lift my right hand. And just take a minute as you come up. Just sitting and noticing in your body. That really nourishing feeling of getting the air and the blood into those parts that have just been a little bit compressed and tight. Just gently moving your head forwards and backwards. Just a little bit, only back just past where it normally would be. And then all the way forward and just try and look to one side. You might find it tugs, just stop at that point. Take a breath into it. Great. Let's do some cat camel and some dead bug. Cat camel. So this is a historic cat camel, right? But this is what I call boobs and butt. So cat camel is generally like that movement, okay? But I call this boobs and butt because I really want you to focus the movement into the place in the spine that's not used to that movement. So the low back loves to do that, and the upper back loves to do that. So we're going to go bum, 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 then the upper back, and we're going to go boobs, 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 then the low back. Okay, bum, 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 bum. Boobs, 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 boobs. You don't have to exaggerate this arch here. You know, this coming through this way really is all about the upper back. And then you just don't force anything else. Coming quickly back through. Okay, one more. Breathing out, anchor with the ribs. Get an imaginary push on your heels, checking where your pelvis is. Okay, dead bug, opposite arm and leg. Now your back should stay straight as a tabletop. So you're not flinging your leg up into the air. And if you anchor with your low ribs, that will be really easy to avoid because it ends up not being about your pelvis at all. Okay, one more each side. Wonderful. Thanks so much for such an awesome class. For joining me. I hope you enjoy it. Do let me know, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Cheers for now.